Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you have got a bit lost. I'm Chatty, welcome to my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, where I'm going to be chatting away madly about my physical TBR and reorganising my shelves, and doing a bit of an unhaul as well. So I'm starting out in the garden because it's a beautifully sunny day, and then we're going to go into the house and I'm going to give you like a brief overview of where I keep all of my books, and then I'm going to start going through each shelf and recording how many books I have never read. And if there are any that I need to take off the shelf and be unhauled, and then I'll be ready to do the full, this is how many books in my physical TBR, and ready to start the Read What You Own challenge. Warning, I have not cleaned up for you. Expect dust. And that's just how it is, because if I cleaned up first, then I would have run out of time to do this. And by the time I then get to film again, the dust would be back. So it's a lose-lose situation. So expect dust. Let's go and see the shelves. And I can't pause it. So downstairs in the lounge, this is middle grades and sort of like picture book kind of collections here. Here are my adult classics, and it's double stacked, so there's more behind these. And down here are my children's classics. Again, double stacked. There could be other things lurking behind the children's classics. I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out when I get to unloading them. We have an open plan lounge into sort of dining area. So we're now at the shelves that are in the dining area. And this is fantasy, a mixture of adult, YA and children's. I've just got a few series that I like to have together and also double stacked. And you can see we've got these books on top. I do not like this. I'm hoping I can unhaul enough so that these books resting on the top go, because it's not fun. I also have these little bits on the end here, which are cute. So I get to have another set of books behind there. And look over the top, I've managed to hide another book in there as well, because every bit of space counts. And then up here, there we go. I've got a trilogy here as well. I love how these shelves work, and I can have just little ones displayed on those extra little shelves. This one is a bit of a hodgepodge. I think it was supposed to be books that weren't fantasy. So we've kind of got dystopia, thrillers, contemporary, YA contemporary, biography, but then we hit some more fantasy over here, and then this little section here was a little bit of non-fiction. Again, double stacked. Again, I have books on top of books. So let's hope I manage to do some unhauling. This is in the hallway, so you open the door, and provided that this lounge door that creaks didn't that time, that was nice of it, is shut, you can see these when you walk in. And what I've been doing with these ones, I have been rearranging these. Let's see if I can put it all in one shot. There we go. I do it seasonally. So at the moment we have got Unicorn in a bright yellow and some other books to the side. So Outcast in yellow. We've got the Secret Sunshine Project with its rainbow, Bernadine Evaristo's Mr. Loveman, so all really warm colours. And then we start to get kind of more autumnal leaves and sort of orange and browny colours, and we're getting the wintry colours, and then that turns into the spring and we get greeny colours again, and then we get the more summer colours as well, so the oranges and yellows from August Town, etc, to the Girl with the Louding Voice with bright yellow cover. And what I had been doing was, whatever season it is, so currently summer goes on the end, and then in the middle it does that. So I've done winter, I've done spring. So when I do reorganize this, it's going to be autumn, and then I might change this again. I did have it rainbow colored at one point, and these blocks here were made by my wonderful friend Vicky, who if you followed to Journeyathon, did all the artwork for Journeyathon, and they spell my name, so they spell Shah, but I also found them able to spell chat, and I can also spell read and a few other things as well. So it's fun to have them here. We're now upstairs. These are the shelves you probably see a lot in the background of my videos. This is one of the places where I sit. I can't remember what these were supposed to be. This one here these are all fantasy. I think behind them I had more like some historical fiction and stuff. I think I've got some more fantasy middle grade here. I really don't know what's behind them. We'll find out when they all come apart, but these are very much like stacking. These shelves are full. And then here we have the feature shelf. This is where the shelf I always keep the pretty things on. So I made this box to raise it up, and then I have covers where the books are beautiful and also ones where I'm excited about reading them. So that is on those, so I don't double stack that one. So these two, the shelves I've already showed you, we've had them for ages, and you can see they've started to bow. Well, these ones we bought later didn't overstack them with books, and they're not yet bowing, so I'm trying to keep them only single layered so we don't destroy these ones as well. I do have to share these with my husband, so I begrudgingly allow him to have shelves too, but hey ho, can't have everything. So this one is my shelf, and this is basically my Hobb shelf. So we do have Belladonna in there as well, but I have all of my Hobb books apart from the final trilogy, because that is what I'm currently reading, so that is in a different place. It's been a Hobb shelf for a while. I might move and have Hobb downstairs. I'm not sure how I'm going to reorganize my shelves, but we will see. So this little area is where it's going to get messy. So this is what I've been calling my seasonal shelf. It's like directly in line to the bed, and as you can see, there we go, there's my from the outfits in the full trilogy, and other books that I'd sort of been reading previously. I now have this drawer in here, which is helpful because I can take this out. Whoop, come on, ooh, books. And then it's not full at the moment because I've been filming, so I've been reorganizing my books, but I can fit more in that way. And then again, I don't want it all double stacked, so I'd love it if this was single, but you know, I have so many books, these are now like creeping into that. So this is all going to be changed because these have all been around for a while, so that will all be changing. Down here it's a hodgepodge, pardon me. So the idea was like half of this was like my books, and then here I have little bits and pieces. I've got little Winnie the Pooh books, I have got religious texts and little birthday cards and just things that are important to me, and some prayer books. And then I've got like some journals and things down here. But I have recently moved to stack these all up on top of each other to try and save space. And I've also got some picture books, which are mine down the end as well. Then I've got a pile of books because I needed to empty a shelf, and I've been reorganizing for videos, and that's just kind of where they're living at the moment. And then over here, oh, here's my collection of pins, which is very funky. So that I sit in my chair over here. Hello, chair. There's a teddy in it at the moment, and then I can see my pins on the corner there. And also, if you look at the window, you can sort of see the Sussex Downs that way, and the opposite way you can see the sea, a tiny corner of the sea, not loads of sea. So these wicker baskets I've put on top of each other to create more shelves. So again, I've got another one of these wonderful boxes that Fairy Loot have been doing, so I can have a load of books in here, and so I can pull that out quite easily and see what I've got, which is really nice. I love these. I think they're great because you get to see the front cover. It stores more books, but you can also really see what you've got as well. So this is just a hodgepodge. This is a hodgepodge of stuff. There is no order to it. There just isn't, even remotely. And then by my chair, there's my little display of books. So I've been filming my August wrap up. So that's why they're all there. And then down here, I have a pile that should not be here. So ignore those. I like the boxes, so I want to do something with them. Notebook. Oh, and then a couple of these book boxy things, because I did have them on my shelves, but now there's no space. This is wonderful filming that you're getting here. I hope you appreciate my radiator. Ooh, there we go. I've got a pile of books. So I've got some library books, and then I have all of my 7 middle grade books that I read for. What did I read them for? Journey-a-thon, because I haven't done that yet. So they're just kind of living there. There we go. I'm currently just sat on the floor. So that's everything. So that's all my shelves. So I'm now going to definitely go through all the ones in the bedroom, and we're going to count up how many I haven't read. And then we're going to And I was going to talk about if I'm going to rehome any of my books and unhaul them. And then we'll see how much time I have after that. This is possibly going to be in 2 parts, possibly 3. We'll see how we get on. Okay, so this is your challenge. If you see me say any book that I've not read and it's going officially on the Physical TBR and you want me to read it, let me know in the comments. Get chatty. I would love to see which is the most popular book out of all the books I have that you would like to see me reading. That would be very interesting. So I'm going to go through, count up, and everything is going to be reorganized and reshelved, but that's possibly going to be in another video. But it is going to be all pulling the books out. So I'm going to go through the shelf and say, counting how many I need to read. And then I'm going to go through that pile of books and say, I'm unhauling, I'm keeping, I've read. That's the plan. So this shelf is going to feel very nice because I've read all the Hobb books, but read Belladonna and all of the Hobb books, which leaves us with, I have not read Silver in the Bone, or Threads That Bind, or Blackwater Sister, or The Final Strife. And even though it's a single stacked, I have got books hidden because they're sideways behind these. So I need to read A Natural History of Dragons, Hood, Patrick Ness, Kate Atkinson's Light After Life. I have read The Testaments, not read Betrayals, and I've read Handmaid's Tale. So first of all, I've got 2 books that I'm unhauling. I'm going to unhaul More Than This by Patrick Ness, just because I haven't heard a lot of great things about this. I've heard a lot of great things about Patrick Ness and the Walking Chaos trilogy, which I have borrowed from someone and is here amongst this somewhere. But I haven't heard great things about this one. So I got it from World of Books. So I'm just going to pop it back for someone else to get hold of. The Betrayals is going because Bridget Collins likes a lot of transphobic posts and is very supportive of transphobia, so I don't need that. Which means that I have, so far, 7 books on my Physical TBR. I have read Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, but it's going on my Physical TBR because I'm rereading the series, and that's the one that I kind of faltered in my reread, and I want to reread it before I read Rhythm of War for the first time. Both The Secret Projects, Tress of the Emerald Sea, and The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England I haven't read, so that's 3 from this shelf. And then everything else, apart from 2, I need to read. So I need to read Bloodmarked, the second book in the Legend Born Psycho by Tracy Dion, and I need to read The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. And then from the bit that I just moved, hold on, let me grab the book. Again, great filming, should have paused, but hey ho. I need to read The Toll, but I've read the other 3. So Physical TBR is on 13, and I'm not unhauling any from that shelf. But I'm now gonna look at these crazy shelves behind me. This is going to be interesting. I think actually the easiest way is if I just stay here and pull them off. I think that's going to be easier. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig I need to read. Read The Spice Road. I need to read The Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Boulet. I have read Reaper at the Gates, but I do need to read Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabater. Wizards of Once, I realise I haven't actually spoken about, but I have actually read Wizards of Once and Twice We Make Magic because I've been reading them to my Mad March Hare. So I think what I'll do, because I'm not classing them as my reading, so I'm reading them to him, still reading them. I think when I finish the series, I'll do a little video about the series because these are my books and I intended to read them. But he was looking at my shelves and goes, I want to read that one next, Mum. So I'm like, okay, cool, great. I'm very excited. We're loving them. We're having a wonderful time. We're on the third one now, Knock 3 times. It's great. Cressida Cowell. So that's red. Yeah, here we go. Knock 3 times. We've just taken the jacket off and we're just reading the other one. I need to read The Bone Shod Daughter by Andrea Stewart. The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and also Heart of the Sun Warrior. Ooh, and now that's off screen, but I will grab them. These Pratchett books have all been read many times. And then I have 3 more books that I haven't read. And these are Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Banker, Blood Scion by Deborah Fillet, and The Lamplighters by Emma Stonex. So we're currently on 29 on the Physical TBR. I need to read Galileo's Daughter by David Sobel, Ross Poldark and Demelza by Winston Graham. I love the Lycanius trilogy. But I do need to read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, so that's another 4 books. I have got rid of a lot of other Philippa Gregory books that I had at different points, but there's something about The Other Boleyn Girl that I just enjoy, so I'm not ready to let it go, and it was my like introduction into that world, so I'm gonna keep hold of this one. I do want to reread this Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Paula Hawkins, The Girl on the Train. I really liked this thriller. I thought it was really clever. I don't know if I'm going to reread it or not. I feel like I could, and then probably once I reread it that time, then I think I'll say goodbye to it. Again, I'm not quite ready to let go of it just yet, but I will let go of French Children Don't Throw Food by Pamela Drunkerman. This was a non-fiction that I had whilst raising children, but I don't feel I would be reading it again now I've kind of passed through the kind of infancy phase. It was very interesting in terms of exploring how other cultures did things, and I was very interested in the chapter on sleep, but having had children, I highly disagree with the chapter on sleep. So this one's going. Where's my going pile? It's over here. That's a wonderful number of 3. Woo, 3. I've just done a load of chatting to a pause button. So I have no idea if you got any of that or what the last thing I filmed, and I can't find out because this. Let's go with I don't think you got any of that. Most of this is reread. I was talking through what books. So here I have, oh man, Shelterbox. Just in case it wouldn't have been recording. Shelterbox book, blah, 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 blah. Ridiculousness, waffle, crazy times. Okay, let's start again. Ready. These 2 are from the Shelterbox Book Club. Typhoon by Kwazia Shadraz and Mrs. Moore Goes Missing by Mariela Shizkamoa, which is a name for 2 authors. And they are on my 2022 Shelter box list. So I have a video where I predict which ones I think are going to be my favourite and my least favourite. So I'm going to keep those for that video. Also, yeah, I'm definitely interested in this one, Mrs. Moore Goes Missing. This one I think will be hit or miss, so we'll see what happens, but I do enjoy the cover. If you're interested in that video, I'll link it here if I've not already said that. I'm keeping these two books that I've read, The Last Dog on Earth and The Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Pie Society, by Mary Ann Sheffer and Annie Barrow. I love Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Pie Society. And Adrian J. Walker's The Last Dog on Earth, I really, really enjoyed. I do want to keep hold of it. I'm not ready to let it go. But if I have to start being ruthless further down the line, then this one might have to skedaddle at that point. A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler. I do want to read. I read a book by her previously and enjoyed it. Again, it's not necessarily something I'm always going to reach for. So it's a historical fiction set in the 1920s. So I am interested as kind of like a change. So I'm going to keep hold of this one and read it at some point. I read The Dancing Face last year. I enjoyed it. It's by Mike Phillips, but I'm not going to reread it, so I'm going to let this one go. And these two, Black Mamba Boy and The Space Between Us, so by Nadia Mohammed and Thrifty Umriga. These are from the 2021 Shelterbox Book Club, and I think that I'm not sure necessarily. I haven't picked them up now. I haven't been reaching for them before now. And because I've got the 2022 books to read and also the 2023 books to read, that's a lot of challenging my boundary. That's a lot of pushing my boundaries and challenging myself to read books I wouldn't normally go for. So I think there's not going to be enough time for me to read all of them. So I'm going to decide which ones I feel more drawn to. So I'm going to do that now. Yeah, I've just had a look through sort of like the first chapters. I've just kind of like skim read and kind of try and get a sense of it. And I think these books are beautifully written, and I think that they will definitely appeal to someone. But again, it's not something I'm really reaching for. I don't think these are me books necessarily, and I have other ones to challenge me. So I'm going to pass these ones along as well. So that is 3 more added to the DNF pile and 3 more added to my physical TBR, which takes me to 28. Okay, so Percy Jackson, one of those I need to read. This is just a little Percy Jackson book that you can read in between. I've already read it, so we're not counting that one. I need to read Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi. I need to read the Mahabharata, the Puffin edition by Namita Gokhale, illustrated by Sudhastatwa Basu. And this is a children's version of Mahabharata. I wouldn't be able to read an adult version. I feel that would be too much for me. But I have started it. You can see my thing in there, and I'm reading it alongside Upon a Burning Throne. So if I get to that one, I'll be also reaching for this one as well. But I'm counting it. I'm counting it in this. So that's 2 more. Oh, let's move you. Mr. Person. Shorefall, the second book in the Founders trilogy. I also have Foundry Side here that I need to read. It feels weird to get the second one out without the first, so I'm pulling it out if I can. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Cool. So 2 more. I need to read Adrian Tchaikovsky's The Doors of Eden. Pages and Co. by Anna James. I have read the Inkheart trilogy and the Worst Witch books here. Come down. What? I need to read this little novel right here. Coraline by Neil Gaiman. And whoop. Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, and City of Strife by Claudie Arsenault. So we're on 40, classing the Percy Jackson reread in there as well. I have read Martian, The Humans. I haven't read Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. Read Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet. And I have read all of these second series Percy Jackson books, which is Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus. I do plan to reread them, but not at the moment, so I'm not currently counting them. And I have read all of these Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive books, which is my paperback copies of them. Okay, this next pile. I need to read Big Hero 6, which is a comic. It's a comic, isn't it, rather than a graphic novel? Yes. I don't know the difference between that. But anyway, I need to read Big Hero 6. I also need to read Wild Spark by Vashti Hardy. Read Rumblestar. I need to read The Secret of Stars by Maria Kuznia. I've read The Ship of Shadows. I have read these 5 Michelle Magorian books: Goodnight Mr. Tom, Back Home, Cuckoo in the Nest, Spoonful of Jam, and Just Henry. And I need to read Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. So that's another forward to the Physical TBR. And I'm going to try and reach that pile over there now. I've read Starseeker by Tim Bowler. I have read the Cogheart quartet there, and Once We Are Witches and Twice We Make Magic. I need to read The Girl Who Drank the Moon, but those are the first 2 Ember in the Ashes books, and the Sorcerer Royale duology by Zen Cho, which I have read all of. And then I have some books tucked in the corner. So I have the first 2 books in the Shades of Magic series. It is just the 3rd that I need to read. I've borrowed the Chaos Walking trilogy. Need to read all of that. And I need to read Victoria Hislop's The Last Dance and Other Stories, which I think is 3 short stories in there, which I have just in case, again, I fancy something different. I have read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Now, the Shades of Magic and Addie LaRue are going to be shipped across to my very good friend Talia from Bandana Book Mom, because she really enjoys V.E. Schwab's writing and she loves Addie LaRue. I did not enjoy Addie LaRue. And unless something crazy happens, and I'm hoping to maybe enjoy the final book in the Shades of Magic. I really hope so. But once I have finished my Chatties challenge set of videos that I haven't even started yet, I'll be sending all those off to get a new, warm and loving home with Talia. Now, this is a dilemma. See, this quartet, it's very pretty all together there, as it does. I enjoy seeing the 4 of them. However, I would reread Cogheart, Moonlocket and Sky Circus, but I don't know if I would reread Shadowsea, because the more I think about it, the more I just did not really enjoy that book. So I don't know if I just maybe would just let that one go and just not have it, because although the green is very pretty adding to the other ones, I'm just going to look at it and think, I don't think I want that. Yeah, so I think I might. I'm going to unhaul. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to unhaul Shadowsea. Sorry, Shadowsea. Okay, we are on 47 books so far with just these shelves. I'm going to move over to the other side of the room, see what we're going to be on when I get over there. Oh, okay, new position where I can just grab in all the books. Pardon me. So all the books up there. Actually, there is one that I'm going to talk about. Apologies. There we go. The Horse Who Came Home. It was a nice read. I'm not going to read it again. I'm going to pass it on to someone who will enjoy it. So this needs to go to a free little library. I can't give it to a charity shop because it's an ARC. So it just needs to be free for someone to take and to enjoy. And I'm going to put a note in it about that as well, that it's an ARC, you can't sell it. So this one is leaving. But I very much enjoyed being able to experience the story. So thank you again, Book Nook, for that. So the other books up there are all read, so we don't need to talk about them. I'm going to start with the seasonal shelf. So obviously read these 2 now. Although technically, doing my physical TBR, this book I have now finished Fourth Quest by Robin Hobb. Will be discussed in a video at a later date. But this is the first book that I've written down in my Read What You Own challenge. Because it was I've been doing it from September, so this kind of counts in that. So I'm going to count it for this. Makes sense for me, it's fine. So that's 48. Lovely. Assassin's Fate obviously counts as well. So that's 49. I'm just going to get to 50 and then I'm going to stop doing this. 49. And Strange the Dreamer by Lanny Taylor. There we go. That's a nice round number 250. Okay, so 3 books here. I need to read The Kingdom of Back by Mary Lou and Frontier by Grace Curtis. And I need to read The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. So that's another 3. Yeah, and the rest on here as well. So another 5. I need to read The Thursday's Murder Club and The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osmond. The Nature of Richards by Rachel Griffin. Not done great on my seasonal shelf. Kind of Spark by L. McNichol, which I've been trying to read since March. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. This so should have been read for May. Look at that, what a beautiful cover to be read in May. Looking forward to reading it. And I have now read This Vicious Grace, review coming in July wrap-up, which I still haven't done. I need to read City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaffer. Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman. The Last Enchantment by Mary Stewart. This is a library book, so it's not counting. Pickwick Papers if you're interested. Polar Bear Explorers Club I have read, but I am counting because I want to reread this series. So I'm going to count the Polar Bear Explorers Club because I plan to reread it at some point. That makes sense, counting that one. Oh yeah, here's all my paused books. Black on Both Sides, A Racial History of Trans Identity by C. Riley Snorton. Wearing My Mother's Heart by Sophia Thakur, which is a poetry collection. Under Rain's Tainted Skies by Louise Gornell. I've read A Long Way Down. 7 Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb. And what are you? Oh, and Brandon Sanderson's Dawn Shard from the Stormlight Archive. Need to read this one. I'm going to count those up now. Hopefully my book piles on the floor are now so high that I can rest this box on here and show you these. A Girl of Ink and Stars. Queenie by A Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millward Hargrave. Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. A People's History of Heaven by Mathangi Subramanian. Read this, and read this. So, I have one more shelf that I'm going to explore. I'm not going to include picture books in my TBR for this in my physical TBR because they're just so easy to pick up and read. If you would like to see what picture books I have, let me know and I can do that. Akatar Warrior, I need to read. Gob Stopping Gossip by L.A. Knighton, yes. Nicole Glover, The Conductors, yes. Parable of the Sower, Octavia E. Butler, yes. Beartown by Frederick Backman, yes. And Suzuki Natsukawa, The Cat Who Saved Books, I also need to read. And these middle grade books, Girl Who Speaks Bear and the Rainbow Grey trilogy, I have read. I have also read Edge Dancer by Brandon Sanderson and this poetry collection put together by Chris Riddell, which is a beautiful book called Poems to Live Your Life By, which has been chosen and illustrated. I have read that. So latest count, 73. I need to read Root Magic by Eden Royce. Read those, so that's nice. Oh, I need to read Jamie by L. D. Lipinski. Malamander by Thomas Taylor. Secrets of a Sunkin by Emma Carroll. Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. Evie's Ghost by Helen Peters. I have read the others. Yes. And A Witch's Brat by Rosemary Sutcliffe. I have borrowed from my mum because I want to reread this. So that is another 7. Okay, we are on 80, and I have one last shelf. I have Linden Falls by Joshua Hersey. Here Comes the Sun by Nicole Dennis Ben. The Colour of Air by Gail Tuskinyama. Green Wild, The World Behind the Door by Pari Thomas. The Magicians by Lev Grossman, which I've borrowed from my friend Dave. The Dragon's Path by Daniel Abraham, also borrowed from my friend Dave. I have Firestone and Orbis by E.A. Pearl. And I have Tamesis Street, which is 30 authors telling one story of a climate disaster, which is an extra book that was given out by the Shelter Box Book Club. Right, let's count this final bit up. Okay, so we are on, I'm just going to bring it a bit closer. We're now on 89. So 89 from just upstairs. Fun times. So I'm going to go and sort out this little mess of books and reorganize them a bit, and then I will come back and I will do the other part of Physical TBR. So I will do the downstairs section and then move into like shelf arranging. Happy reading, everyone, and I hope you enjoy part 2 as well. Do get chatty in the comments and let me know which of these books you think would be most interesting for me to read. Just mental check, there were none of these books that I just spoke about that I wanted to get rid of, so that is good. Lovely, yes, just brain checking. I was doing everything I needed to, and I am. Happy reading, everyone.